And anyway, I don't know where it came from, but we always called my grandfather Daddy Pa. But I know on my grandmother, when I was born, I'm older than Carl by about 6 months, and she said she wasn't old enough to be a grandmother, so we always called her Mama. Anyway, we had a lot of good times. They had 9 children. My mother was the oldest, then Larry, and then Bud, and then Lamar, and then there was Max, and then finally Melba, who's still with us, and Homer, and then Carol, and then Carl. And I was hoping that Carl would make it, but he didn't. And you know, we lived a different life then on the farm. Carl and I were together, either he was at my place or I was at his place, particularly during the summers when we were in Rockland. And you know, when we were kids, you didn't go anywhere, you didn't have a gun in your hand. And I think Larry over here knows how his dad was. He was always, if he didn't have a gun in his hand, it was because he had a fishing pole. But we had a lot of good times. Now my grandmother, she was kind of a disciplinarian, and I can remember a lot of lickings from her. But I can't remember a single spanking from my grandfather. But he, when we did something wrong, he'd sit us down and he'd give us a talking to. And he'd make you feel so sorry for what you'd done, you wish he'd give you a spanking instead, you know? And I didn't think at the time, I didn't realize until I was in high school that all grandparents were like your father and mother, you know? Whenever Carl got a toy, I got one also from Daddy Pa. And one of the worst fights that Carl and I ever had, and we had lots of them,